Ladies and gentlemen, COVID changed everything. How did it change colleges and universities? What are the challenges that they're now facing because of this? What do we had to live through here? We had to go through remote working, remote education at every level, attending remote events, going to Zoom meetings, having Zoom fatigue, which many of us went through, social isolation. But on the positive side, we didn't have to do hour commutes. There was more freedom to take care of family needs. We didn't have to fight for parking places. And for a very short time, auto rates for auto insurance were less for a short time. Insurance companies are nice because they're nice. Now, we move from shelter in place, wearing masks, and colleges are facing a new problem. Students are hesitant to return in person. What are the pros and cons? My guest today, I'm going to let him pronounce his own name because I always butcher his last name, is Dr. Andrey
Mikhailitchenko.
And you got it. So I won't even try because I'll not do you justice, Dr. Andrey. Now, Dr. Andrey, he is the Associate Dean of Programs for the Business School at the University of Colorado, Denver, right downtown Denver. What a great place to be. Now, he has received degrees from Russia, China, as well as Syracuse University and Cleveland State University. So this man has been educated all over the world. His firsthand experience, world experience, makes him an expert in creating multicultural programs. So Dr. Andrey, welcome to Life Altering Events.
Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me here today. And so, yes, I agree that the COVID changed everything, especially on the educational marketplace. Before COVID, we tried to develop online classes for different types of the disciplines. And it was so difficult to find the instructors who would be willing to teach these online classes, being paid even more. It was difficult to find the students who would be willing to take these classes. But after COVID, the situation changed dramatically. So now it's so difficult to bring students back to campus and to make the instructors teach again on campus. So currently, the statistics says that around, at least in our institution, at least 80% of the students are willing to take online classes rather than face-to-face. So, and definitely it has pros and cons. And the major pro is that, as you mentioned, students have more flexibility, no kind of commuting hours, no fighting for their parking places. But together with that, we have expanded audience of those students who are not local, who are out of state, and those who are out of country. So now they are able to take our classes, and this is definitely pro. But together with this, we see that the opportunities for networking, for creating the community that we're always proud of, are shrinking with smaller number of students in the classrooms. And previously, before COVID, we had online universities, and we are not online universities. So we have excellent building in the center of Denver, in the downtown. And it costs a lot of money, and this infrastructure was created within decades. And we cannot all of a sudden become the online university. So we are trying to combine the needs of those students who need online education and those who are still willing to be face-to-face. So, and currently we see the big delineation between the audiences. So those students who would be willing to take in-person classes, they, though, constitute minority, but very strong minority, because mostly these are local students who are valuing the opportunity to communicate face-to-face with the instructors, with other students, and with the members of the business community. For instance, job opportunities are much better created when we have job fairs, when the students have opportunity to communicate with the representatives of business community face to face. And these students, they really need face to face classes. So we are facing the challenge. So we cannot transfer fully online. We have to transfer a certain number of classes online, but we still have to maintain the in-person presence here on campus. So two distinct segments, and the border between these segments is becoming clearer and clearer, and we have to accommodate both. Yeah.
And it's getting, I imagine, it's really interesting to try to build that dynamic, because I had an office in Denver on Larimer Square, not far from your campus.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful place. And we did that on purpose, as we built these buildings and all this infrastructure.
Yeah.
We didn't know this was going to happen.
This is the view from my office in the business school. We're right in the middle of the downtown, and this is our great competitive advantage.
It is. It's tremendous. And Denver's a wonderful place. You also spoke when we talked before that you called it the industrial landscape was changing. Like what we traditionally taught, students don't want anymore. How's that changed?
Yeah, the industrial landscape is changing a lot. It is not necessarily related to COVID, but in some degree still related, maybe indirectly, because before COVID, we had the much higher demand for, let us say, accounting rather than other disciplines. So it was on the top level of demand. So we had the demand that was exceeding our ability to supply. But currently, we have more demand on business analytics. And in, for instance, finance was always the demanded discipline, but currently the demand is shifting towards fintech, financial technology, blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, these type of things. So in other disciplines, the shifts are not so visible, but together with that, within the discipline, certain courses are becoming more and more popular, like in marketing. So now there is certain shift towards neural marketing, digital marketing, and all these kind of marketing analytics tools that can be used with big data and with customer relationship software. So this, and I believe that this shift is taking place in all of the disciplines. So the shift towards more technologically advanced type of learning. Yes, and industry also provides the demand for alumni with those for those mostly groups of students who have these advanced analytical skills rather than just general preparation. And as a result, the popularity of the general MBA degree is gradually going down. I would not say that it is substantially declining, but it is not increasing at the same time. But together with that, what is increasing, the specialized master's degrees are, as I said before, Master of Science in Business Analytics, Master of Science in Information Systems, Master of Science in Marketing. So these types of degrees are now demanded in higher degree than just the general overall business type of education. Yeah.
How does that impact all the curriculums? Because you have prerequisites, and now we're moving into different kinds of classes. Does that make it a big challenge for people in your position?
The curriculum is mostly impacted on the course content level. So we're trying to enrich our course content with those types of knowledge and skills that are corresponding to the changes in the industry demand, especially in such a region as Denver with so many high-tech companies. Regarding the overall curriculum, the degree requirements, yes, we have certain classes that are becoming, previously were electives, but now are becoming core classes. And we are creating new classes that didn't exist before, but now are becoming electives. So this process is ongoing. As an example, for instance, now we are redesigning our curriculum for including in it artificial intelligence content. So by April next year, all of the disciplines in our business school are supposed to provide the plan of including this content in every single course and creating the courses related to artificial intelligence, because this is the huge challenge in the current business education. Because there are different opinions related to artificial intelligence. Some of them are saying that, okay, in 19th century, people were riding horses. It was a very important skill that everybody who is traveling needed to have. But then they started to use cars, and riding horses was not relevant anymore for transportation. So why we should now learn this and that? Because artificial intelligence can replace it. For instance, we were always paying a lot of attention on developing graduate writing skills as a huge component of the overall communication skills of the students. But now you go to ChatGPT, you can put there any kind of the essay or sentence without even paying attention to grammar, and ask to formulate it in a professional way. And then you get in just several seconds very nicely formulated essay on this topic. So people are asking, so why we should teach these graduate writing skills while ChatGPT can do this? Why should we teach mathematical and calculative skills while artificial intelligence can pick it up? So, and the answer to this question is no. Artificial intelligence can replace certain human functions, but it cannot replace all of them. Moreover, the most critically important functions are not replaced with artificial intelligence, and we still need to teach different kinds of basic skills, but teach them in a different way, just developing the intellectual abilities of the students. So, for instance, when we go to gym and do heavy lifting, we're doing it not in order to learn the skill how to lift the dumbbells, but we are doing it for developing our muscles that are related to it. In the same way, when we're teaching the students how to communicate, how to create their logically consistent essays on different topics, we are doing it for developing the basic intellectual skills that will be needed for their leadership in business. How can you be a great leader without good communication? And how can you be a good communicator without being able to put your thoughts in the logical and consistent way? This is what we need to teach the students. But in every single subject that we teach, we're trying to delineate between those things that can be picked by artificial intelligence and those where we still need to focus on as the basic skills. So, and just an example, I'm a marketing guy, so advertising. Previously, we taught the students how to build the components of the marketing communication campaign, the message, the major selling idea, how to delineate between different segments of the target audience. Now artificial intelligence can do this for us, but what it cannot do is to create integrated marketing, communication, branding campaign that is helping to establish the relationships, because really successful business is based not on transactions, but on the relationships. People are buying what you believe in. If they believe in the same things that you believe, you are having better partners. Artificial
Absolutely.
intelligence cannot do this.
Not going to do that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I interviewed Professor Edward Hess from the Darden School in Virginia, and he said that transactional skills, predictable, repeatable, that's what AI is going to do.
Yeah.
And Franny Matthews, who's in Denver, she's the CEO of the Colorado Technology, I forget the third part of her organization. She told me, Frank, here's a problem. There's too much data. We're in information overload. Okay. She said, what the value? She said, and she says this to students all the time. The value is what if this information is important because there's so much of it, and how with the critical thinking skills to make decisions off of it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
It can create data.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah. Yeah. That is true. The decision making is not replaceable by artificial intelligence. And I'll tell you, even before artificial intelligence was emerged, the issue was exactly the same. So, for instance, I did a lot of consulting for the companies that are existing here around. I was in Sacramento. I did consulting there. But I also had and still have my own business and my company. And there I'm hiring consultants for my company. Why? Because the decision-making function and the consulting function are two different rules of the game. So they're two different games with different rules. And AI can replace, in certain degree, human mind in doing consulting, especially based on big data, but it never can replace the human mind in decision making. This is different function and different role. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in grad school, way back when, we taught theory and reason and logic, etc. And now, in talking to you last time, and talking to a number of other students, they don't want to go through an MBA program. They like the short, quick, like the old, we called it the executive MBA. Is that happening?
Yes, exactly. We have executive MBA. We have 1 year MBA. So the one that provides very incentive course. And we also have certificates and so-called badges. So whenever the students are taking 3 or 4 courses that are constituting some certificate. So, for instance, sustainable business certificate. Then they decide either just take this and go further in their careers, or to take another certificate course and then another one, and then put them together and get the degree out of it. So this is the way how we are currently reorganizing our curriculum. So to make it more attractive for those who would be willing not to take the degree or to take the degree immediately, but just are interested on focusing on certain areas of knowledge, so that they will be able to take the shorter course and then decide what to do with it further. Yeah.
I love that idea, having a series of certificates.
Yeah.
It's almost like the tech guys, they get a certificate for security, they get a certificate for this, etc. And the more certificates you have, the more rounded you have become.
Yeah, exactly.
Outstanding.
Exactly.
Now, last time we spoke, Dr. Andrey, you said the role of a manager or a leader is morphing. It's going to become an enabler and a facilitator.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, so sometimes we are disoriented by just the title of the position of the person. So the person is manager. Okay, we believe that he is the leader, but very often the title of the position is not corresponding to the real role. The real role is somewhat different than formal definition of the function of the person
Right,
within the
right.
organization. And on the exactly same position, there could be different types of the leaders or managers. So the lowest kind of the bottom of this pyramid is reactive type of so-called manager. So whenever something happens, this manager, by the way, this manager can do a good job in reacting to different things that are happening in the environment. But this manager does not create new processes or systems in the organization. So the higher level, the first one, I would say, it can be called reactive type of management. The second level is the type of housekeeping manager or administrative. So the one who is creating processes and procedures to maintain the workflow in an organization. So those who are keeping their eye on the organization on a little bit higher level than just reacting to different things that are happening, good and bad things. They're creating certain systems and processes. The higher level, the leading manager, is the one who is developing these systems and processes in order to develop the organization, to move it further, to increase its role in the society, to increase its sales and its profits. But it is still not the highest level. The highest level is the leader who is leading, not just the boss, not just the leader, but the one who is leading. These people can inspire, can share their vision. They should have vision, but they are able to transfer this vision to those people who are around them. And these leaders who are inspiring, they're kind of on the top of this pyramid. And I call it pyramid because there are so many managers who can react to environment. A little bit less who can create effective processes, less than those who can develop these processes, and so few who can really inspire and spread their vision to the whole organization. Yeah.
And that vision, is we talked about, is beyond the business itself. Is what value do you bring not only to the business but to the world? Is
Yeah,
that right?
exactly. It is. I would say that the core component of this vision is not about business at all, because a business is traditionally associated with earning money, with getting profits, with increasing revenues. No, this is not about making your organization more successful in earning profits. Profits is like a gas for the car, but you also need to see the direction in which your organization is moving, and the mission in the society, your role in how you are improving people's life around you. This is the distinguishing feature of the true leader. So those people who see that, who see the wide perspective, they are able to inspire people, and inspired people are usually creating the successful businesses. So successful business is a kind of the derivative from the vision and ability to create the wealth for the society as a whole. Yeah.
That's outstanding. And from listening to you and talking to you before, that leader tends to evolve more from the person who has built the relationships of being on campus, of being through these things you mentioned, the career fairs, and doing the internships, which require you to physically be there. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, because whenever their leadership is executed, it requires a relational component. It requires developing of relationships with the people. It requires charisma. It requires their credibility. And it is so difficult to replace it with just Zoom or any kind of internet or email interactions, People must see people face to face and must communicate with them face to face. And in this case, their relationships are becoming stronger. And in this case, they are creating their kind of the fundament for this real, genuine, inspiring leadership. So it is very often the role of the relational component is underestimated. People believe that they can just design nice marketing campaign, put it something in the newspaper, something on TV and radio, something in Instagram or Facebook, and it will do its job. No, the most important component of any marketing campaign or any branding campaign is the relationships and providing people with the idea of what you believe in, not just in making money, but what is your what is your goal in this life. And if you inspire people with this goal, then as one of the components of it, you can do business with these people, and this business will be with those people who will be trusting you and who will be accommodating your needs. And this is what we're teaching the students, what we're trying to let them learn, that it is not just enough to get this basic transactional skills. With these skills, you might do some job for money, but really great things are happening not for money; they're happening for big ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the best benefits of being at grad school at UCLA was the interaction with classmates, with who are now executives somewhere, and with professors who I still go to, even though I've been out of school for 40, 50 years. But I think it's not I love what you said, Dr. Andrey. It's not transaction. It is relationship based is where the success occurs.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. That's tremendous.
You need to find not the buyers, not the customers for your business, but partners for your business. Those who are sharing the same ideas, those who are on the same page in terms of the impact that you are creating with your business. In this case, you will do successful business with them as well.
That's outstanding. That leads right into my next question is you've experienced all over the world. You've been everywhere and you've done it all. What role does culture play today? Is it like an afterthought, or is culture still the critical factor?
Culture is the huge factor, and the definition of culture is something that a lot of researchers are struggling with, because culture indeed is not just the belonging to certain language, religious group, or to some territory. Within the same organization, different groups of people might have different culture. Right. Or organizations can have different cultures. So culture in most, I would say that if to put it in a relatively simple schematic way, so this is the group of people who have common purposes and understanding how to move towards implementation of these goals. Multiculinarity in terms of cultural orientation is so important. It's so important to understand the perspectives of other of the representatives of different cultural groups, sometimes who are very, very far from you. If you take a look at the slogan of our institution, it says Denver built, global ready. So it means that yes, we're built here in Denver, so we are creating our relationships with the Denver community, but we're oriented towards the global market. If you see our marketing communication campaign in the different media here in Denver and outside of Denver and outside of Colorado, you will notice that we're making the emphasis on cultural diversity. Diversity is a very important point because we are here trying to be open to different perspective and different trends. Theoretically, everybody agrees with that. So if you ask someone, do you like to be open to other cultures? Everybody will say so. But it is so difficult sometimes to really follow it, because in order to follow it, you might just a few examples. So the development of our curriculum. We are, for instance, one of the new courses that we developed is empowering women in business. Why we developed this course? Because we see the systemic discrimination of women in the business overall, and we're trying to fill this gap by creating, but it is so difficult to create this kind of course. It requires a lot of efforts, and we are also in every single component of our curricular efforts, we are looking closely at diversity, equity, and inclusion. What can we do in order to address those cultural gaps that we see in the society? Open system is challenging always, because open system is often ill with the, I would say, with inability, with lack of ability to absorb the new ideas, because organizationally sometimes it is difficult. Open system very often is the subject of different kinds of crises. So it's never linear in its development.
That's right.
While closed system very often looks more healthy than open system. Closed system might do very well during certain pretty much long period of time, but finally open system survives and has the opportunity of self-development, of the winning the competition, while closed system sooner or later is destroyed. I got my first degree from the Soviet Union at that time. So Soviet Union was successful society for a long time, but it was closed society. Yes. And what happened with that, it was destroyed, namely because it was closed, though it looked pretty much successful within several decades. So, and to make your system open on every level, on every course that you teach, on every program that you are offering to the students, is really challenging and not easy to fulfill task, but you have to do it.
I see that in the business side all the time. I call it, you're wedded to your best practice, but best practice is a point in time.
Yeah.
Right? And so many organizations have followed their best practice all the way to extinction.
Exactly.
Just like the Soviet Union. It
Yeah.
was very good for a very long time, but they were unwilling to make the shift. And what's really interesting to me, Dr. Andrey, is you told me 53% of your students are now first generation students. 53%. Yes. Okay. Yes. Now, that's what's coming into the schools. That's what's coming into the workplace. So if you cannot adjust and you cannot become open, and becoming open is not like, okay, I'm open. Are you working with the business sides also to say, hey guys, this is what's coming?
Yeah, exactly. By the way, U.S. News and World Report recognized our institution as being #1 in Colorado in terms of social mobility. So we are providing the social lifts for the students. And yes, 53% of our business school first year undergraduates are first generation. And we have the Center for First Generation and multicultural students. By the way, 50% of our students are students of color. And we are creating the strong and extensive program of support for these students. And financial support is important part of it, but it is not just one component. The major component is to create the feeling of the community, to facilitate the networking that would help these students learn from other students, because the major learning, why sometimes in person, face-to-face learning is so important, because a lot of learning is taking place not from textbooks and not from interaction with the instructor, but from the classmates, from those people who are constituting the same, who are in the same organization, who are in the same school. So we're creating a lot of events for the students within our first generation multicultural program, and we're trying to bring them up to create the feeling of trust, of support, and feeling of interaction with the environment. And
Exactly.
it pays off. It is valued by because it is like a fresh blood in the economic and social system of Denver and of Colorado. So it is very important to have these students and to bring them up to the industry and to the community.
Exactly. I had worked with an organization, Dr. Andre, that was floundering, and it was a financial institution, and they said, we're not getting the 35 and below as customers anymore. And it was the CEO, and I was sitting there chatting with him, and I said, well, what do you perceive as one of the issues? And it shocked me, but he actually said these words. He said, Frank, I look at my board, my group of management, and all I see is old, fat, bald, white guys. He said, we're missing the boat here.
Yeah.
Is that inclusion? And see, a lot of people look at it, oh, that's a handout. No, it's not a handout. They're working for this. And if you don't address it on the corporate, on the education side, you have to. Those are going to be your students. But colleges, this is what colleges is producing this, businesses, you better get on board.
Yeah, exactly. And colleges are producing not just their knowledge, skills, but they're producing their carriers of certain culture. So whenever, because these are the most the years when the students are getting most of the influence. So and not only in terms of gaining certain knowledge, that is also important, but in terms of absorbing their philosophy, the cultural norms. And it is very important to create the good, the correct, the diverse, the culture based on the respect to diversity in here in the business school.
And that's perfect. That goes right back to what we said in the beginning, is that being on campus gives you that additional advantage. You're not going to get it sitting at home on your PC learning how to do just analytical skills.
Yeah, that is true. You can acquire different types of skills, but you cannot become the part of the culture of the institution unless you are communicating. And when you're communicating, the best way to communicate is to be here in person. So that is why we value this in-person component, and we will never reject it, no matter what kind of market conditions we see.
Exactly. That's amazing. Well, Dr. Andre, we're just about out of time. What last thoughts do you want to leave with the audience around the world here today?
So my thoughts are again related to the diversity. So there are so many different things that are happening in the world. So the things that, for instance, I'm very sensitive to is the war in Ukraine that is happening. What's happening in Israel right now is also devastating. So my and when you are a person who is open to diversity, you're always mindful and sensitive to what is happening, not just near your home, but what is happening in the world. So I'm trying my best to help in the way that I can to people who are the victims of these disasters that are happening in the world. And I just urge everyone to be open to see what is happening around them, and help those people who need this help. And I'm here in this business school because business is making people better, first of all, in terms of understanding the needs of the society. Business creates the mindset that helps to implement good social ideas. It is the tool that is helping to develop the society as a whole. So, and I just urge everyone to be open-minded and to be open to the problems and sufferings of those people who are far away from your home and your country. Yeah.
Exactly. In your short time in Denver, you haven't been there very long. What are you most proud of?
Here, I'm in Denver. This is my 5th month. Before that, I was in Sacramento, California State University, Sacramento. I love communication with the businesses, and I love communication with students. So my 2 passions is the talking and working with students, and at the same time working with business. So whenever I see myself as the bridge between these 2 groups, I feel that I live my life for the purpose. I feel that whenever I see this kind of connection, communication part of it that goes from through me, so I'm proud of it. I love it. Yeah.
It's very easy to see the passion in your voice and your expressions and everything else. How do people reach you?
So people can reach me at any time through my email. I put in my syllabus every time my cell phone, because I believe that the students can talk to me at any time whenever they want, and I'm totally fine with it. So please, if you give my email to my phone number to those people who would like to communicate with me, I'm totally supportive of it. I will be more than glad to communicate more. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we're just about out of time. I want to thank Dr. Andrey one more time for showing us the pros and cons of the post-COVID college experience. And University of Colorado, Denver is leading the model. They are the model. So parents, children, look into this school. It's in downtown Denver. I love that community, and we are doing tremendous stuff at that school. Tremendous stuff. Now you can see this podcast on my podcast, which is called Life Altering Events. It'll be on my YouTube channel, on Parade Deck, on numerous LinkedIn sites and Facebook sites. I also send a link to Dr. Andrey when it goes public, and he can put it anywhere he wants to put it up for how he sees fit. If you use my YouTube channel, please subscribe. And let me leave you with this, as I do every week. None of us are in this alone. And the secret to walking on water is to know where the rocks are. And today, Dr. Andrey showed us where many of those rocks are and what the future is going to look like. Join me again next week. We get into another life-altering event. Dr. Andrey, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Frank. Thank you.